So in this video, we want to help you guys learn from some of the things that we've learned on the road being full-time for over a year now. Now I'm Logan.
I'm Christy.
And we have 4 little kids, and we've been traveling all over the United States again for a year. And we have learned a lot along that time, especially when it comes to saving a little money along the road. Because when we first started, we were spend. You know, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but it cannot be sustainable at a certain pace. So we had to learn a few things, and we want to share a lot of that with you guys today, and excited to do it. So should we get started?
Yeah, let's get
started. So now, first of all, the most expensive thing, if you go out and you're gonna live the full-time RV lifestyle, of course, the thing that you're going to find to be the most expensive, or could be the most expensive if you're not doing it quite right, is going to be
camping.
The
money that you spend just to stay in a campground overnight.
That's
Super,
right.
Oh my gosh. When we first started, I mean, you're spending $50 to $60 a night at some places. Sometimes
easily.
$75.
And if you have kids, sometimes they charge you a little bit more. You know, the extra person tax is what we'll call it.
Yeah, so it's really important to start thinking about some ways to save some money on camping. And so we did a lot of different things.
Did a lot of things. Now, I think, well, when we first started, because I was so new to pulling a trailer, a big one especially, I only wanted to stay at campgrounds that were like close to the freeway, right?
No back in,
and
pull through only.
No state parks, no boondocking, no drag camping. I mean, it was pull-throughs. I mean, it was going to be probably the more expensive parks, and so that kind of fed a lot into the problem. But we did learn a lot, and so
so some of the memberships that we got to kind of help offset this were Thousand Trails, RPI.
Yeah, tell them what Thousand
Passport
Trails
America. Yeah, so Thousand Trails is kind of like a timeshare. So you can go and stay at certain campgrounds for free after you pay for your membership, for certain amounts of time, depending on the membership that you get.
Yeah, there's lots of information out there on Thousand Trails, and we maybe do more on it. But there's basically you can pay for a yearly amount, and then you're able to stay at their campgrounds, which are mostly on the West Coast or the East Coast, for up to 2 weeks, and it can be more with some of the different levels of memberships. And so that was one thing that we discovered along the road, and which helped keep our costs down, and a lot of full-time travelers do use them as well. Just something to keep in mind, though. Again, they're usually only on the West Coast or East Coast, and the campgrounds.
Well, there were a few along the bottom too. There's not a lot in the middle of the United States.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And so in the campgrounds, sometimes they're not the nicest ones, and sometimes they're okay. But what we're trying to do is kind of lower our costs so we can live the lifestyle. So they were one that we definitely took advantage of, and it's something worth looking into. You also mentioned RPI, which came with our Thousand Trails membership when we purchased it.
There's also like Boondockers Welcome, Passport America.
Yep.
These are all, just different ways that you can save some of that camping money.
Yeah, ways to bring that cost down, because spending more on campgrounds than you would on like a nice house, it's just not okay. Because we might as well live in a nice house.
Or nice hotels or things like that as well. So
yeah. So my list here, and you mentioned a lot of those: Passport America, RPI. Good Sam's is another one now that kind of just gives you a slight discount on some campgrounds. It's not a lot, 10%. Now, like I said, I was a little nervous when we started doing our traveling, so I was going to stay in campground, RV parks only. But the best way to save, another great way to save money, of course, is city parks, state parks, national parks.
Yeah, well, and also boondocking. If you're set up to boondock, you can save a lot of money boondocking.
So that's without full hookups.
Yeah, so that's just dry camping is another name for that. But yeah, just staying somewhere just where you pull over. There's, what's the website where you can look up?
There's a lot. Boondockers Welcome is one. Harvest Host is another one that a lot of people use. There's lots of apps and things out there to help you find where these state parks are. And we may do a video on kind of the apps and what we do to find those. But basically, we got to bring that cost down of campground right away. I mean, don't do it the way that we did. I mean, spending nearly $2,000 a month on just campgrounds. I would rather spend that money on having fun
entertainment for sure.
entertainment. So we got to bring that down. Look into a lot of these memberships. Learn how to boondock. Learn how to go without a lot of these state parks. They don't have any hookups.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they don't. We should actually do another video on some ways to, like some things that will help you guys boondock, because we've been loving their boondocking.
It's been fun. It took us a while to get to the point where we wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But it's improved. I mean, of course, when you probably set out doing this, that's what you picture. You don't picture the RV parking lot, but we're finally brave enough, and we've been doing it for a while, and we love it. So, getting those costs down. Now, you can also dry camp in Walmart and Cracker Barrel, and I think Cabela's as well. So, learning how to do that is going to drastically bring it down. If you can get your camping expenses way down, you're gonna have so much more fun with that money than just paying it to an RV park.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to let Christy hit this next section, because now it's a big expense. Now, you're going to have this expense whether you live in an RV or not. But again, we want to save money so we can enjoy this lifestyle more. So I'm going to let her talk about food a little bit.
Yeah, well, the thing that Logan said is food is something we have to have no matter what. But I think that's something, when we first started, we were eating out a ton more, because you're going to all these new places and you want to try the restaurants, which is totally fine if you have the funds to, and if you're saving money camping or somewhere else. But a way that you can save money, obviously, is just cooking in your house, not eating out. We can fill up for our family to go eat out, it's easily 60 to 100 to more than that, because Logan and I like to go on dates and eat out, and we'll spend like $80.
Seems like we'll spend that just on us.
Yeah, and so you can fill up a grocery cart, right, for that amount of money and feed your family several meals. And so definitely not eating out. Another thing that we do, we go to Costco, and as long as you go to Costco with a list, you're not buying a bunch of extras while you're there. It really is so cost effective when you can buy huge bags of cheese and freeze some, or I can buy 2 loaves of bread for the cost that I could get 1. So as long as you're disciplined when you go into Costco and aren't just buying a bunch of stuff you don't need, I feel like Costco is a really good way to save some money. And then, like I said, we freeze a lot of stuff. We have a full-size fridge in our rig, and so we have the space to do that. So if you have the space to go to Costco, I think that's a great way to save some money there. What else did we have under the food? Oh yeah, and we bought a water filter, because we were spending a lot of money on water too, because we were drinking bottled water.
Didn't like the campground water and the idea.
Well, we never wanted to drink out of the rig for some reason. So
yeah. So we got a good water filter to help with that. Something that Christy discovered too and started doing a lot was when we do want to go out to eat, Groupon has actually been fantastic. So you just, whatever area you're in, right, you search for it, you'll find a nice restaurant, and it's usually a screaming deal.
Yeah, we ate at some awesome restaurants with the Groupon, so that's a great
definitely Groupon for if you are going to eat out, pick a Groupon. Big difference. Big difference, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so other than the biggest expense is going to be camping, and there's a lot of ways to get that down. I think the next biggest expense, because you're doing this lifestyle now, is going to be fuel. Especially when you're pulling a big heavy house or a motorhome, obviously you're going to spend a lot on diesel or gas. There are some things you can do to improve that. Something that I just recently applied for, and a lot of people are doing it and have had good success with it, is something called TSD Logistics. It's a company that you get an account with them, and they help you get a discount on fuel. Now, it does only apply to diesel fuel, but people are getting nearly 50 cents off or a little bit more at some of these truck stops. And you do have to go through the truck section, the big truck section, but that's something that'll make a big difference on your gas budget.
I was just gonna say too, I lost it. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say we'll put the link in the comments too, so you guys can find these easy.
Yeah.
Anything that we're talking about that we have links to, we'll put them in the.
Yeah, and even if you're not a full-time traveler yet, and you have a big diesel truck, you might as well get a TSD Logistics card. If you're passing these truck stops, you might as well fill up there. Now, another thing that I found that could be helpful is the app called Gas Buddy. It basically helps you find the cheapest gas around in your area. And if you're traveling around, you might as well hit the cheaper one. Now, if you do have a big rig, a big motorhome or a big fifth wheel, of course you might be limited to certain gas stations. And so something I did just recently was we put in a auxiliary tank in the back of our truck So an additional 60 gallons of fuel that we can load up on. And so now we can haul about 91 gallons of diesel fuel in our truck. So now when I can find the cheapest one, and then I can load up those 90 gallons, and it's going to make a big difference, because 90 gallons of gas, you know, it's going to be nearly $200 at today's gas prices. So if you can save a little bit, it's going to be a big difference there.
Yeah. Another big thing with gas that we have learned, if you're moving quickly, you're going to spend more money on gas, obviously. So kind of slowing things down and not moving as frequently is going to help you save on gas as well.
Yeah. Enjoy the area a little bit longer. That's something that I had to teach Christy.
We still don't do that, but
we
it
try
does
not
help
to
you
move
save
too
money.
much.
No, we do like to move.
We do like to move a lot.
We move a lot more than most people move.
I'm like, whoa, why are we leaving? We just barely got here. So we are trying to slow down a little bit.
So much to see.
Now, of course, reduce the weight on your trailer, you know, is going to obviously help your gas mileage. Avoiding rush hour traffic, if you can, is going to help you on your gas fuel. Tolls was a big part of our travel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially in Ohio, and I'm sure there's other places where tolls are just ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're spending time on the East Coast, you definitely want that. You can get a toll pass. We never did it, but I think if you're planning on spending a lot of time over there, that would probably be the way to go, is get the toll passes.
And you can adjust your GPS or your Google Maps to take you to avoid tolls, which is pretty helpful, but you may want to check it first, because you may not want to take your big RV through some of these roads. So you just need to do a little research. So entertainment, there's so much to do out on the road. That's why we love it. That's why we do it. So we want to, you know, if we're going to spend more, maybe we spend it there, but let's keep it a little bit cheaper. So what are some things that we've done in order to keep the entertainment expensive
So definitely
down?
Groupon, once again. You can look on your Groupon and find deals on all kinds of, oh, I forgot about this one. So Groupon for you can find Groupons for sometimes SeaWorld even and things like that. But
theme parks,
also, if you're homeschooling when you're on the road, so there's also homeschooling deals with some of those parks.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that, because we went to Legoland for I think we paid
so cheap.
I think we paid $60 for
our
whole
through
family.
Groupon?
No, for homeschool.
Oh, through
so
some
yeah,
homeschool
so check
program.
out some of those. Yeah, check out some of those parks and who does homeschool. I don't know. It's like a
Homeschool
homeschool
days or
program.
something?
Homeschool days. Yeah. So they have certain days where you can come if you're a homeschool family.
Yeah, that was a good one.
For a way discounted price. But then Groupon as well. Always, if you're looking for an amusement park or something like that, I always go on Groupon in first and just see if they have any deals there. Also, for Broadway shows, things like that, Groupon has tons of stuff for that. So
yeah, take advantage of that. Don't pass up on that one. So, and there's so many free activities too. I mean, there's so many expensive activities and so many inexpensive activities. I mean, we love to bike, we love to hike, we love to, Christy loves to take pictures, and so we just get out there, and none of that costs any money, just the fuel maybe to get there. So many free things. Now the parks, we have the America the Beautiful Pass, which is definitely worth getting, especially if you're going to be a full-time traveler.
That's the national park.
That's the national park one.
And then you can also, if you're going to be in a state for a long time, like we were in Florida for a long time, we should have got a state parks pass there.
Yeah.
We did buy one in South Dakota. Yeah, so if you know you're going to be somewhere for a while and take advantage of the state parks, that's definitely another way to save. And then,
so there's also the ASTC passport program.
Oh yeah, so this is for kids. This is for kids to be able to go to science museums all over the world, and so that one's an awesome one. Yeah, for free.
You get the pass, which we're still in the process of getting it ourselves, but lots of people speak very highly of it.
I'll link a blog post as well where this lady totally tells you exactly how to utilize it, and so it sounds awesome. I'm excited to get that.
Yeah, which is cool, because sometimes, just by having the pass, so maybe you say you pay $80 for it and it's good for a year, you're gonna use it, number one, but let's say it costs you $50 to go one time. If you didn't, you probably won't go. But because you have the pass, you'll go and you'll enjoy it, and you won't feel guilty if you only spend 1 hour there or 2 hours there.
Yeah.
It's like having a season pass. You don't feel guilty when you use it. So
they also have, that pass also has things outside of the country. So if you travel outside of the U.S., there's also tons of science museums and things as well. It's not only science museums, but there's a lot of science type museums in there. So awesome for homeschool.
Yeah, and one additional thing for entertainment that we just barely started using is something called, how do we call it? Rakuten. RAKUTEN, and I'll post it out here on the video. But basically discounts at a lot of retailers, and they even have Groupon. And so
you get another 10% off
you
your Groupon.
You can get a 10% kickback when you buy your Groupon passes. So take a look at that as well. One last thing that I thought was a really good one that I found and to take advantage of, because we're traveling around in different states all the time, there are different tax laws in each state. So if you need to buy accessories, if you need to buy things, food even, or you're going to stock up on something, or you're going to buy something for your RV, why not buy it in a state that has little to no sales tax?
Yeah.
That alone can add up to hundreds of dollars or more depending on what you're buying. So
yeah, and also getting your residency in some of those states if you are going to keep traveling a long time, full time.
Yeah, if you work on the road, you might as well switch.
Yeah.
Might as well switch to a different state and keep a little bit more money for that entertainment budget.
Just one I guess word of caution there. Make sure you check out the homeschool laws and that you're okay with them in the state that you're going to switch to, because that's kind of a big deal. So check into that.
Yeah. So these are some of the things that we've done to drastically bring down our expenses, especially the camping, the fuel, the entertainment, and it's been so much more fun. And it's a lot less stressful, you know, on the guys when you can keep the expenses down a little bit. You know, we can have a little bit more fun. So write a bunch of these down, take advantage of them. Let us know if you have questions or something about it.
You guys tell who the spender is in the family. Logan likes to watch our money grow.
So let us know if you have. Go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to say. We'd love to hear any tips you guys have as well.
Oh, yeah. If we missed something or there's something that you guys do, I would love to hear it, because we need it just as much as you do. And so I'd love to take advantage of opportunities or things you've learned.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Please do.